So we've spent quite a bit of time talking about the tools on the draw panel. We haven't done all of them, but we will. We'll get there, okay? And we've talked about some of the buttons down on the status bar that make our life a lot easier, right? So we're going to change gears a little bit, and we're going to bump over. We're going to talk about some of the tools on the Modify toolbar. All right, and there are an awful lot of tools up here. We've used one. We've used the Erase tool, right? But today, we're going to learn how to use a different tool. We're going to use the tool called Trim. Okay, and we're also going to use a tool called Offset. So now, Trim. Trim is not the same as Erase, even though with an eraser, you could erase part of a line. You see, in AutoCAD, when you erase the entire line. And that's not what I'm after here. Here's what I'd like to do. I would like to use the tool to make the line shorter. See, I'd like this line to stop. The vertical line should stop once it hits the horizontal line. I want to trim off part of the line. Okay. I'd like it to look like this when it's all done. So now, here's what we're going to do. And depending on which version of AutoCAD you have, this is going to work one way or another. So click on Trim, and now AutoCAD's asking you a goofy question. It's saying select objects. Well, you might think that means click on the part you want to get rid of, because that makes sense, right? But the reality is that's not how AutoCAD is thinking. See, what AutoCAD is thinking from 1982 all the way to 2020, AutoCAD's asking you, where do you want the trimming to start? So if I want to take this vertical line and trim off the end, I actually want the trimming to start here on the horizontal line. It's weird, huh? I want to get rid of this part of the vertical line, so I have to tell it you're going to stop here, basically picking the stopping point. Okay, so I'll click that. And now modify commands are different from draw commands in that they have two phases. Modify commands have phase 1 and then phase 2. And phase 1 is selection. See, I just selected something, right? I'm telling AutoCAD, hey, this is the thing I'm picking. You have to hit enter to go into phase 2. And here's phase 2. Phase 2 is execute. So that means if I go over to here, do you see how it's telling me it's going to get rid of that little part of the line? Execute. That sounds so final, doesn't it? All right, so let's talk about trim. I'm going to click on trim, and I want to get rid of this part of that horizontal line. How can I do it? Well, remember, it's asking you, where do you want to stop? See, I want this line to stop here, so I'm going to select this one. And then I'll hit enter. Phase 1 just ended. Select. Now I'm in phase 2. Execute. Which side am I going to get rid of? That side or that side? See, I want to get rid of that side. All right. So trim is kind of a backwards command. No lie. Okay. I don't know why they did it like that. It's totally goofy. Okay, but here's a few things that will help you with trim. Okay. If that sounds like a dumb way to make a command, you're absolutely right. I agree. Okay, so the way the command is designed in AutoCAD version 1 all the way up to AutoCAD 2020 is you have to pick the thing or things where you want the trimming to stop. So you see I picked 2 lines there, right? Now I'll hit enter. So I can actually get rid of any of those segments. I'll get rid of that one and that one. Okay. I'm going to move over to the right a little bit. Trim the circle so it looks like this when it's done. Now, this is a real dumb way for the command to work. Okay. Where do I want the trimming to stop? Well, at the horizontal line. Phase 1, select. Now enter. Phase 2, execute. What do I want to get rid of? I want to get rid of that. Okay, and we're done. Now, trim is not delete. Here's what I mean. You might say, select the objects you want to trim. So I want to stop here, enter. I can get rid of that. I can get rid of that. But if I get rid of that, look what I can't do. See how I can't get rid of that? See, I can't get rid of that because if I got rid of it, there'd be nothing left. And the idea with trim is it has to leave something, right? It has to leave a little something behind. On this one, I said trim to here. I can get rid of the top. I can get rid of the bottom. But if I get rid of the top, I can't get rid of the bottom. Or if I get rid of the bottom, I can't get rid of the top. So how can you get rid of the top if you want to get rid of it? Well, you'd have to erase it, right? Or delete it. Trim requires that you leave something behind. Now, there is a way to make the trim tool work a lot easier, and I'm going to show it to you. Here's how it goes. If you are using AutoCAD, any of the AutoCAD versions, from version 1 in 1982 all the way down to AutoCAD 2020, you could use what I call super trim. And here's how it works. You click on trim, and AutoCAD says select objects. Do you see what's in brackets? Select all. Right? That means if you hit enter, now every edge in the drawing is a trimming edge. Check it out. You can trim against anything. Doesn't that make a lot of sense? Doesn't that sound so much better than the goofy way they made the command back in 1982? You bet it does. All right, so this is the way I use it. This is the way I would suggest you use it, unless you had some special need, right? So you click on trim, you hit enter, and now I can trim that part or that part without having to click my trimming edge. Now, little note for those of us working with AutoCAD 2021. Very exciting. In AutoCAD 2021, you click on trim, and it works like this. Everything's a trimming edge as soon as you start. Okay, so you don't have to go in there and do this nonsense about picking lines to stop at. Every edge becomes a trim edge as soon as you click on trim, which I've been waiting for the last, 20 years. And it finally happened, so I'm pretty happy. Okay, and that is how the trim tool works.